In truth, the Supreme Court in the US to ban the TikTok application, which is a final ruling after 4 or 5 years of deliberation between the Congress and the US courts regarding stopping the TikTok application. I see it from a different point of view, because if there is an app used by 170 million Americans and two-thirds of teenagers for 80 minutes on average a day, which with the potential to get to know the interests and tendencies of the American people, and of course the long time use for TikTok reaches and amounts to 80 minutes a day. Also other apps such as Facebook, there has to be a ruling to control the situation. We know that TikTok has the growth of 7 US companies and contributes to the GDP with 7% and provides 250,000 jobs for American citizens. A lot of advertisement go through TikTok, and all of these beneficiaries now are going to be affected. In addition to the advertising company on US platforms, this ruling, given the findings that I have stated, is an economic decision more than political, because there has been concerns that the Chinese government would use TikTok to gain economic advantage over America through their different companies. And a similar decision was taken regarding the Huawei company, banning it from using some certain processors to issue certain issuance of the phone annually. The ByteDance company, which is the owning company for TikTok, was offered more than one buyout deals from TikTok, which is contradicting with all the US allegations regarding TikTok that this application might be harming US citizens or might be related to threatening the US national security, which is the number one priority.
If I may ask you here, besides the economic file and this economic competition, many argue that this move is a signal of an increasingly hotline US stance on the Chinese tech companies. Now, what's your take on that, and how do you think that would reshape the US-China tech relations?
Of course, as we've stated, this current competition or war against the Chinese tech companies is a warning regarding the Chinese tech companies that if any company achieves unprecedented growth in such a small period of time, that poses a threat, and China is the number one country in this regard. Of course, this step taken by the United States imposing restrictions on TikTok is a real step against the Chinese tech companies, and there will be even more restrictive steps taken further. And the question now is if China will respond to these restrictions being imposed in their countries, or responded to the offers provided by Elon Musk, who's strongly supported by President-elect Trump, and he's a very strong supporter to the US economy. The question here, if we're going to witness during the upcoming period a very strong conflict and restrictions from China to face these challenges and restrictions being imposed by the US, the scene that we are seeing right now, and or my expectations for the upcoming period,
Yes.
will witness a cool down period. The day after tomorrow, 21st January, there was a call for a cool down period.
Yes, let me here ask you about another big concern, because the ruling also raised concerns, as you spoke about threats. Now, the ruling also raises concerns about the freedom of expression. And do you think that banning the TikTok sets a dangerous precedent for government intervention in digital platforms?
Drafting the law or the legislation to ban TikTok or banning it from all US platforms, and the warning issued by US companies such as Google and Apple from cooperating with TikTok through their stores, their electronic or digital stores, is now restricted, and the US people has the national security as a #1 priority, even a priority compared to freedom of expression. But the idea of some government taking advantage of being in China, the excuse of freedom of expression will be a tool or a mechanism to be used to restrict applications such as TikTok.
We're speaking here about a country. Definitely, we're speaking about the U.S., which has always protected the freedom of expression and openness to the world and principles and values. And this is why we're speaking about such an issue in the broader context. How can governments balance the need for national security at one hand with protecting innovation and open markets?
Here we talk about technology, which is an open source and support to some ideas and some features in different applications. So the idea of cooperation or the type of content or recreational or entertainment applications such as TikTok, which is an entertainment application. It's not political or for data collection or any of the things that we perceive as a national security threat. As we have stated, that there will be a wave of restrictions under different descriptions or different themes that will not be employed correctly. TikTok or social media applications should not be collecting data or user data. A lot of US companies and even most social media platforms that are from the US are involved in data and information leaks. So the idea of freedom of expression will be the issue always.
Yes.
To answer this question, I think in the upcoming period, and this is my own expectation, there will be a truce. The application will be sold. There will be a 30 to 60-day truce by Donald Trump.
Right.
The TikTok ban will start in the 20th
Right.
of January.